Paper 2 was very tough, and the students who got ranks also, if through anthropology optional, in that paper 2 was little less when compared to paper 1. So paper 2 generally constitutes of 9 units. Evolution of man in India, demographic profile of India, population, how it is growing, caste system in India, development of anthropology in India, village studies, villages in India, how villages are there, tribes in India, what are the tribal problems, 7th unit, tribe, nation, state, and social issues. So generally we have an idea through newspaper reading or because of the subject, the titles, names, like villages, like tribe, like social issues. Somewhere we will be connected, so that we think that paper 2 is easy. The same thing happened. Paper 2 is easy, so most of the students, they concentrated only on paper 1, which is 12 units and which is very lump sum. Paper 2, they just read to the material or gone through few toppers copies or through few toppers notes, that's it. But they never bothered to go deeper into the subject. UPSC understood it, and not only UPSC also thought that there is a need for in-depth knowledge on tribes, there is a need for in-depth knowledge on Indian villages, there is a need for in-depth knowledge on demographic profile, there is in-depth knowledge on caste system in India. So they started asking more questions, tough questions from paper 2, that too from tribal India. So that tribal part we are going to discuss today. So unit number 6.1, which is tribal description, tribal definition. Unit number 6.2, which is called as problems of tribes. Unit number 6.3, which is called as resettlement and rehabilitation issues. 7.1 mainly talks about the modern tribal problems. 7.2 talks about the minorities of tribes. 7.3 talks about ethnic conflicts. 8.1 talks about impact of Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism on tribal societies. 8.2 talks about tribe, nation, state. 8.1, 8.2, 8.3 together called as tribal issues. So what I want to tell you here is the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th as well as 5th also, it constitutes the dynamic part where you have to focus a lot. If you do your paper 2 properly, I am telling you, if you do your paper 2 properly, if you understand properly, your Indian society of your GS1 will be completed, social justice of your paper 2 will be completed, internal security of your GS3 will be completed, and you will be getting very good ethics and ethical and essay type philosophical understanding if you get a command, if you have the command on paper 2. So don't think this paper 2 which I am going to start now is of anthropology paper 2, then you are wrong. It is not only anthropology paper 2, it is Indian society module of GS1, social justice module of your GS2, internal security module of your GS3, very good ethical examples of your ethics, and a philosophical understanding of essay. So here we will go with 6.1, which is tribal India. So in tribal India, first we need to understand what is tribe. Sir, tribe. Manam pade anukuntam, we will be talking multiple times. Tribe means what sir? Tribe means Adivasi, or tribe means indigenous people. Tribe means primitive people. Who are the tribes? So various anthropologists gave who are tribes. So one of the major understanding of tribe is, I will tell you, understand this. The people who are associated with the territory, if this classroom, if we take it as a territory, a geographical territory, so a territory, in this territory, the people will be having a we feeling for the territory, this is my land. For example, Gond tribal population of Adilabad district of Telangana state and Chandrapur district of Maharashtra, they have a strong feeling that this is called as Gond Desh. They have an association with the territory. They have an association with the territorial geography, number 1. Number 2, the people who are living in that territory, they are speaking only one language, they will be associated only with one religion, they will be following only one culture. Four understandings we got. First one is territorial we feeling. Second one, language, culture, religion. And with that, the people who are associated in that particular territory, they believe that we all are associated by kinship. Kinship means relatives, like a brother or sister, some or the other way. They all will be called as relatives. All will be called as kinship. That particular group of people is called as tribe. Anywhere, a group of people who are located at one particular geography, who are affiliated with one particular territory, who have a common culture, common language, common religion, and who are associated with each other with a bond called as kinship bond, as well as in that they don't give importance for economy, they give importance for reciprocity, means give and take. If you don't have this, no problem, you take. I don't have this, you give me. So there is a exchange process, give and take of exchange process is there. That particular group of people is called as tribals. That concept is called as tribe. సో ఎక్కడైనా సరే ఒక టెరిటరీకి, ఒక జియోగ్రఫీకి పీపుల్ అసోసియేట్ అయి ఉండి, ఇఫ్ దే ఫాలో వన్ కల్చర్, వన్ లాంగ్వేజ్, వన్ రిలీజియన్, and they are bonded by a common kinship bond, all are relatives some or the other way, and they don't marry outside the group, they marry within the group, which is called as endogamous. That particular group of people are called as tribals. Various anthropologists have gave various definitions. One of the definition is given by Majumdar. This particular person name is called as D.N. Majumdar, and D.N. Majumdar, according to him, what I told, whether it is synchronizing or not, we will understand. Compulsory a standard definition you have to remember. So according to D.N. Majumdar, a tribe is a collection of families bearing a common name. Whether they will bear a common name or a different name, Gond, Chenchu, Baiga, Lambada, Meena, who will be bearing a common name. Members who occupy the same territory, whether they believe that we are occupying the same territory, whether territorial affiliation will be there, this is my land, Gond Desh, Baiga Desh, they believe that a territorial association is there. Number one, what is there? Number one, common name, territorial association. Speak same language. Third, speak same language. Observe certain taboos regarding marriage, profession or occupation. They have some rigid rules. Only this type of marriage should happen, this type of occupation should happen, this type of profession only they have to follow. For example, we call every tribe with hunting and gathering tribal community, means their profession is hunting. We call a tribal community as like Bedouins of Saudi Arabia. Bedouins, they are called as pastoralists. They are traditional camel herders. So all people will do the same occupation. Taboo. Here there is a word called as taboo. What is taboo? Social avoidance. So there are some taboos regarding their marriage. They have some taboos regarding their profession. They have some taboos regarding their occupation. Means what, sir? Only this is the occupation. This is the profession. This is the only way of living. Other than that, you should not do. Marriage, taboos, you have to marry within the group. You should not marry outside the group. There are certain taboos regarding marriage, regarding profession, regarding occupation. So that means what? They follow rigid rules with respect to their occupation. They follow rigid rules with respect to profession. They follow rigid rules with respect to marriage. Means fixed rules. And have developed a well-assessed system of reciprocity and mutuality of obligation. I don't want anything from you. If you have any trouble or if you want any necessity, I will give you. I know that when I am in necessity, you will be giving me. So there is a reciprocity, give and take. A give and take without the concept called as money, that particular group of people or that particular concept is called as tribe according to. So with the very first, you should understand a tribe very well. This is called as fundamentals, foundation. If you understand the tribe, on the tribe we will be constructing the various concepts. So tribe is nothing but where the people are associated by a territory. The people are associated by a territory and people speak a common language. People follow common religion, culture, taboos. There will be certain taboos with respect to their profession, with respect to their occupation, with respect to their marriage. And there is something called as reciprocity, there is something called as mutuality of obligations. So that particular group of people is called as tribe. So if I put a puzzle, like, so I'm talking to you and I'm asking you, a group of people where they are closed system, they follow one language, one culture, one religion, one way of living, and very rigid rules with respect to marriage, profession, occupation, and people among themselves will be sharing, and without, there is no concept called as money, there is reciprocity and there is mutuality of obligation. That particular group is called as what? Caste, tribe, nation, etc. Tribe. The people, for example, this classroom we take, in this classroom, if everyone is having a territorial feeling, every one of you are having one culture, one language, one way of living, all are related by each other by some form of kinship bond. We all call each other by brother, sister, etc., etc. So some form of kinship bond is there, as well as there is a reciprocal relationship and mutuality of economic obligations is there. Then that particular group is called as what? Tribe. So he is the first person called as D.N. Majumdar, who gave the definition called as tribe. Another person who is called as Ralph Linton. Another person, Ralph Linton. What he gave the definition of tribe? What is tribe according to him? Ralph Linton. See, you tell me, we call, with your minimum knowledge what you have up to now, you all know these Gond people are living in northern Telangana and in southern Maharashtra. Chandrapur region, Balarsha region, Adilabad region is inhabited by Gonds. With minimum knowledge, you know that Chenchu tribal community are living in Nalamalla Hills on the borders of Mahabubnagar and Kurnool. You also know that there is a tribal community called as Lambada tribal community who are living in Tandas, tribal hamlets. Without any subject knowledge, you know this. So there are tribal communities like Lambadas who are living in Tandas. You tell me whether tribe, they all are living closely or they are living in hamlets. So they all are associated, but they are living in hamlets. This is one hamlet, this is another hamlet, this is one Tanda, this is another Tanda, this is another Tanda. In English it is called as what? Hamlet. So these all hamlets are there. These all hamlets belong to which tribe? Lambada tribal community or Chanchu tribal community or Gond tribal community, we say. So for every hamlet, that particular group is called as band. So a tribe is nothing but the combination of bands. So a tribe is a larger group who are affiliated by territory or affiliated by language or affiliated by religion or affiliated by culture, who are having no economic obligation. There is reciprocity, mutuality of obligation. That particular group is called as tribe. So these tribal people, how they are living? These tribal people are living in what? Bands. So tribe is a group of bands occupying a contiguous territory. Whether they will be living in one particular area or here one, North India one, South India one, no. Within that contiguous. It can be the best example you can write as Gonds. They live in Adilabad. The north of Adilabad is what? Maharashtra, which is called as Balarsha. On the north of Balarsha, we have Chandrapur. This Chandrapur belt, this Maharashtra belt, this Adilabad belt is very famous for what? Singareni collieries, which is very famous for what? Gondwana land. And this Gondwana land will give what? Coal. Why? Because it is living on what? Godavari river basin. So this Godavari river basin, who are living? Gond tribal people are living. So the people are living in bands who are living in a contiguous territory and having a feeling of unity deriving from numerous similarities like culture, frequent contact and certain community of interest. So people living in bands, they are connected each other, they are contiguous, who are having common similarities. What are the common similarities? Territorial similarity, religion, language, culture, associated with each other, kinships, taboos. So there are similarities. That particular group is called as tribe according to Ralph Linton. So, two definitions for every topic. If you remember two definitions, it's enough and more. But before that, you try to understand that. So, tribe is a group of bands who are in a contiguous area, who are connected by similarities. So, what are the characteristics of tribe? Territorial affiliation, language, culture, religion, associated between them, a reciprocal relationship. That particular group is called as tribe. Who are the two people who gave the definition of tribe? D.N. Majumdar and Ralph Linton. So general characteristics of any tribe. The general characteristics of any tribe are definite common territory, definite common topography, means they had an association with the territory, number one. Number two, they have a sense of unity. So among themselves, they have a sense of unity. All the tribes, they will be marrying among themselves. Endogamous group. It is not only the language, the dialect also will be the same. What is dialect? Yasa. The pronunciation. Slang. The pronunciation will also be the same. Common dialect. Kinship relations. What is kinship relations, sir? Sir, if we go to any village, people themselves, when we drop down, suddenly a person will come and tell, hey, how are you, son-in-law? How are you? Means, I don't know who you are. Means, some or the other bond will be there or not. In tribe, it is more serious. Everyone is associated to each other in some or the other kinship bond. So, it is called as kinship relations. Distinct political organization. They have a political organization whereby the people will be following it very seriously. It can be a big man, elder man, or it can be a council. If modern democratic institutions come also and call for elections, they will be not ready. No, we have a proper political system. We are happy with the political system. So they have their own unique political systems. Common culture, egalitarian values. Every tribe, every individual will have the equal value. Egalitarian values will be there. Like our society, there is no superiority and no inferiority. All are equal. Egalitarian value societies will be their tribe. 9. Primitive religion. Like they believe in some soul worship. They worship in some animals. Or they worship some symbols. They worship some symbols which are called as totems. So that form of religion, they are not like us. They will not worship Christianity. They will not worship Hindu gods. They will not worship Islam. They have their own gods, local gods. How we have village deities, similarly they have their tribal deities. That is called as what? Primitive religion. Old form of religion, which is called as primitive religion. Isolated form of living, whether they will be living with us or they will be living in the forest areas. They will be living in the forest areas, which is called as isolated form of living. And the technology will be primitive. Today also they use rough tools. Today also they use very rudimentary form of harvesters. They don't use technology. They don't use tractors. So the technology is what? Primitive form of technology. And subsistence form of economy. They don't work for surplus. They don't think that I have to earn more. They don't work for investments. They think today I worked, I got money, today I am surviving or not. That particular model of economy is called as subsistence form of economy. So, leaving the definition of Ralph Linton, leaving the definition of D.N. Majumdar, here I am concluding that. These are the characteristics of tribes. What are the characteristics of mainstream society like us? What are the characteristics of modern societies like us? In our modern society, we give importance for materials. In our modern society, we give importance for money. In the modern society, we give lesser importance to far relatives. We give more importance to only close relatives. We give importance to our own family members, but not other than the family members. So these are what? These are the characteristics of modern society. Similarly, the characteristics of simple society or the characteristics of primitive societies are this. So, in any society, if these characteristics are present, that particular society will be called as tribal societies or primitive societies or simple societies. When I use the word primitive society, tribal society, simple society, all are one and the same. They are called a simple society or tribal society or primitive societies. So what are the characteristics? What are the things which are present in them means, number one, they have a definite common topography, they have a sense of unity, they are endogamous in nature, they will be marrying among themselves, there will be a common dialect, their kinship relations will be there, everyone is a bond, everyone is a relative, distinct political organization, common culture, egalitarian values, primitive religion, isolated form of living, primitive technology and subsistence form of economy. If these characteristics are present, that particular society, that particular group of people is called as tribe. This is very important. When you go for a UPSC interview, when you tell for all the questions, answers, this one, sir, array, means finally he will come down and he will ask this question. At least tell me what is tribe. So, who are tribe? What is tribe? Who are associated with the territory. Next. Common culture, common language, common religion, common dialect, distinct political organization, egalitarian system, isolated form of living, primitive technology, primitive religion, subsistence form of economy, kinship relations and isolated form of living. If these particular things are present, that particular group of people or that particular community is called as tribal community or simple society. So we understood the definition of tribe which is given by yes, D.N. Majumdar's definition and Ralph Linton. Nothing we did, Jansi, nothing we did extra, only everywhere it was been cut down, no problem, you will get the recorded videos, nothing at all. So I discussed about Ralph Linton's definition of tribe. Second, we discussed about the definition of D.N. Majumdar and we discussed about the characteristics of tribe. This particular group is called as tribe. So now you understand this. There is a debate on the definition of tribe. See, whenever I use the word definition, it is a statement. If it is universally valid, it is a statement, it is universally valid, then only I will call that statement as definition. We generally call the definition of democracy as to the people, by the people, for the people. So anywhere in the world we go, if I tell democracy, yes, it is to the people, for the people and by the people. Anywhere in the world, the three sentences will be apt. So hence we call it as what? Definition. When we call any statement as definition, it means that it should be acceptable universally. Everywhere it should be acceptable. First thing. First characteristic is what? We are having a debate. What is a debate? Debate on the definition of tribe. First debate, I will take the characteristic called as topography or territory. Now you tell me. So whether this definition is everywhere the same, whether the characteristics are everywhere the same, we are checking. So first I am checking with territory. Once upon a time, the Lambada tribal community used to stay at one particular area. They used to live in bands, they used to live in hamlets, which are called as tandas, and they used to live in contiguous area. That particular group is called as tribe. Now you tell me, whether the Lambada tribal community today also they are living in tandas, today also they are living in hamlets, but whether they are not associated with mainstream, whether they are not coming and living in Hyderabad, whether they are not coming and living in Delhi, whether they are not coming and living in urban centers, still today also they are living in tandas, today also they are living in hamlets. What is your opinion? No, they got associated with mainstream. Meena tribal community, they completely got mainstreamized. Now, Meenas of Rajasthan, who are tribals, who claim they are themselves as tribals, they are no more tribals. Why? Because they are not living in hamlets, they are living in mainstream. They come to Delhi, they go to Lucknow, they go to Kanpur, they live in urban centers. So, first statement, which is called as association with territory, association with topography, whether it is valid or invalid? Invalid. Second, living in isolated pockets, yes or no? Living in isolated pockets. Whether today they are living in isolated pockets or they are coming into contact with mainstream. Today the tribes are living in forest areas or they are coming into contact with mainstream. They are coming into contact with mainstream. Number two. Number three, they have their own common religion. They have their own common religion. They have their own common culture. They have their own common language. You tell me. Common religion. You tell me whether the tribes are following their own religion or they are also worshipping mainstream religion. They are also worshipping mainstream religion. Common language. Whether they are speaking their own languages. For example, as you connect, I am using this example. Whether the Lambada tribal community are using their Lambada language or they are speaking mainstream languages. They are speaking mainstream language and almost they are forgetting about their language. Common language is not there. Common religion is not there. Common culture is also not there. The original culture they are forgetting and they are learning the mainstream culture. So, from this various characteristics, we can come to a conclusion that yes, we cannot tell that the definition of tribe is universally valid. In the contemporary times, we can tell that this is not universally valid. But however, the same definition was being valid earlier. Few years ago, like 100 years ago, 50 years ago, the people used to follow this same characteristics. Who are having the same characteristics are called as tribe. But today, the tribes are not following their traditional characteristics. But however, there are tribal communities like Andaman Islanders, Champens, or there are tribal communities like Sentinelese of Andaman Nicobar Island, Baigas, Chenchus, today also following their traditional characteristics. But few tribal communities are tilted towards the mainstream and few tribal communities today also living in isolated pockets. So from this we can tell that every tribe is not seriously following the characteristics. Only few tribes got contacted with mainstream and converted as mainstream, whereas there are original tribal communities like Sentinelese or Champens. There are Sentinelese, Champens. These are the tribal communities who are today also untouched by mainstream. So, hence we can tell for this particular statement, which is called as debate on definition of tribe or universality of the definition of tribe. Yes, today living few living a few tribal communities, rest all tribal communities are adherently following the characteristics, but a few tribal communities like Lambada tribal community or Meena tribal community got influenced by the mainstream. But however, the tribal communities like Sentinelese, Champagne, Baiga, they are still today also, they are adhering to their characteristics. So hence, we can tell that yes, the definition of tribe is universally valid up to some extent. The definition of tribe is valid up to some extent, but not full extent. This is what the debate on the definition of tribe. In this space, write down, I will be telling on the space, only one sentence. Yes. There are few variations. There are few variations. There are few variations from the characteristics. From the characteristics in few tribal communities like Lambada, Lambada, comma Meenas, MEENA, comma Meenas. But however, the tribes like Sentinelese, 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 comma Champagne, SHOMPENS, Champagnes, today also rigidly associated with their characteristics. Full stop. Hence, the tribal definition is universally valid. With minute deviations. So, this is a debate on the definition of tribe. Indian tribes and concerns related to definition of tribe. Same thing, I answered. Definition of Indian tribes. Like Lambada tribal community, where they are not completely associated with the definition. There is few deviations. Their culture got changed. Their religion got changed. For example, I will tell you, Medaram Sammakka Sarakka Jatara of Telangana state is the largest tribal festival of the world, which is actually originally celebrated by Koya tribal community. For every 2 years, once this festival will be celebrated, nearly 2 crore population will be visiting. In this 2 crore population, only 10% will be the tribes, remaining 90% will be the mainstream. In the same way, in the nearby pilgrimage centers of Medaram Sammakka Saraka Jatara, where the mainstream gods are worshipped, there the visitors from tribal areas are also significantly high. From this we can tell that their religion got changed. They also got influenced by the mainstream religion. అంటే ఆ చుట్టుపక్కల ఉన్నటువంటి టెంపుల్స్లలో ట్రైబల్స్ వస్తారా రారా? చుట్టుపక్కల ఉన్నటువంటి ట్రైబల్స్లో మెయిన్ స్ట్రీమ్ టెంపుల్స్లలోకి ట్రైబల్స్ వస్తారు, ట్రైబల్ ఫెస్టివల్స్లోకి మెయిన్ స్ట్రీమ్ వాళ్ళు వస్తున్నారు. సో హెన్స్ దెర్ ఈస్ చేంజ్ ఇన్ ద religion. From this we can come to the conclusion that the universality of the definition of tribe is not 100% accurate. There is few deviations. See, various interpretations we have to understand. various interpretations. So we understood the interpretation of Ralph Linton, we understood the definition of D.N. Majumdar. Now what is the view of T.B. Naik, other anthropologist? When you quote these names and when you mention, then only it is called as anthropological way of writing an answer. More anthropologist names we have to use. So according to T.B. Naik, what is a tribe? What is a tribe? According to T.B. Naik, understand. A tribe should have least functional interdependence within the community. Minimum to minimum functional interdependence. See, in our society, whether we try to be independent or dependent, independent. We try to be independent. We try to earn by ourselves. We try to be independent. By being independent, we feel very proud. But tribe is not like that. Minimum to minimum, they want to be in connection with other man. Minimum to minimum, they want to depend on other man. There is an interdependence. I will depend and you will depend. I will depend and you will depend. There will be a interdependence. When there is, you tell me, when there is interdependence, when I am depending on you, you are depending on me, whether the bond will become strong or the bond will become weaker. The bond will become strong. Why? Because I have to come into contact with you, you have to come into contact with me. More the contact, more the relationship. More the contact, more the relationship. In our society, what will happen? We believe that we have to live independently. And when we live independently, when I live independently, when you live independently, least we come into contact. When we least come into contact, when the contact is reduced, the relationship will reduce. Because of which the community feeling is very less in mainstream society. Because of interdependence, the community feeling is more in tribal society. So if you get a doubt that, sir, why there is having a strong community feeling, why they have a strong unity feeling among themselves? Because their interdependence is more when compared to us. So because of interdependence, what will happen? The connectivity is increasing, contact is increasing and the relationship. So according to T.B. Naik, he gave a different version of tribe, minimum to minimum, least functional interdependence. Least means what? Minimum to minimum. Some or the other, there should be a functional interdependence. So in every tribe, there will be a least functional interdependence. Means some or the other way I will be contacting you. Some or the other way I will be depending on you. Some or the other way you will be depending on me. When I am depending on you, you are depending on you, minimum to minimum, then obviously the contact will be established. So first reason he told, every tribe least functional interdependence. At an underdeveloped stage, and it should have a multifarious economic pursuit. See, again, second point he told. First point, least functional interdependence. Second, you tell me. In our society, engineer will be doing engineering work, bus driver will be doing bus driving work. Specialization is there or not? But in tribal society, every tribe will be doing all the activities. He will be harvesting. He will be going for sowing the seed, he will be going for hunting, he will be going for cooking, he will be going for bringing water. So all the multifarious activities will be done by the tribe. So what is the difference between the mainstream and simple society? In mainstream, every man will have a specific occupation. In mainstream society, every man will be having a specific occupation. Whereas in tribal society, every man will be doing multifarious occupations. So second point. So he is trying to explain from economical point of view. First economical point of view, he told that least functional interdependence. Economical point. Second, every man, every tribe, every man in the tribe will do multifarious activities. Economical backward. Primitive means of exploiting natural resources. Tribal economy should be at an underdeveloped stage and it should have multifarious economic pursuits. Means all the economic pursuits will be done. All the activities of the economy will be done by man. Second point. So first one is what? Least functional interdependence. Got it? Any doubt? Second, economical backwardness. Primitive way of economy. At the same time, all the activities of economy will be done by the tribe. So they will be not like us, whereby every man will be doing a specific activity, every man will be doing multiple activities. Second point. Third, there will be geographical isolation of the people. They should have a common dialect. Politically organized and community panchayat should be influential. A tribe should have a customary laws. So according to T.B. Naik, first point is least functional interdependence. Second point is multiple economic pursuits. Third point, you know that. Yes or no? Geographically isolated, or they will be coming and leaving with mainstream? Isolated. Geographically isolated. Fourth, they will have a common dialect. They will not only have a common language, they will have a common dialect also. They have their own political organizations. They have distinct political organization. Already we discussed, they have a distinct political organizations, and they have customary laws. What is customary laws, sir? How laws we have, similarly they also have laws. But those laws are not made by the parliament. Those laws are made by their culture. Their culture will tell that like this only people should live. Their culture will tell that like this only people should live. They should not deviate from their culture. So if they should not deviate from their culture means there should be some laws should be made. And those laws which are made by the culture is called as customary laws. For example, there is a concept called as youth dormitory. What is this, sir? In Gonds, it is called as Gotul. In Orons, it is called as Dumkuria. Youth dormitories, what does it mean? After 6 years of the birth of the child, when he reaches 6 years, when she reaches 6 years, both will be taken away from their homes. And both will be kept in a hostel which is called as youth dormitory. From 6 years till they get married, both boys and girls will be staying in one dormitory. Till they get married, they will be doing all cultural activities, economic activities, any productive activities. If any war with any tribe, they will be ready. They will be working like soldiers. There is no distinction between boy and girl. Why? Because it is egalitarian society, equal society, not men more or not female more, both are same. Why? Because tribal societies are egalitarian society. Till they get married, they will be staying together under youth dormitories. It's a law that father or mother cannot tell that I will not leave my child after 6 years. It's the law that after 6 months, after 6 years, compulsory they have to go and stay in youth dormitories. At the time of marriage, again parents will come, again they will do the marriage and they will establish their own family. It's a law. That law is there in our society? No. This law is there in which society? In Gonds it is there, in Orans it is there. So such a type of laws which are coming out from the culture is called as customary laws. So according to T.B. Naik, the laws are called as customary law, geographical way of living, multiple economic pursuits, least functional interdependence. That particular group is called as tribe. So who are tribe according to T.B. Naik? It's a PYQ. Who are tribe according to P.B. Naik? So answer is, according to T.B. Naik it is, this is the answer. So first we understood Ralph Linton, D.N. Majumdar, general characteristics. Now the view of T.B. Naik. So these are the major tribes in India. These are the major tribes. These are, overall there are 750 tribal communities in India. Overall 750 tribal communities are there in India. These are the very famous tribal communities whom we are going to discuss. Bhutia, Uttarakhand. Bhutia, Uttarakhand. Gaddis, Jammu and Kashmir, Baiga, Banjara, Gond, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Banjara, Maharashtra, Irular on the borders of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, Gondi, Andhra Pradesh, Parja, Bond, Koya, Kons of Odisha, Jharkhand, Santal, Munda, Chero, Mizoram, Mezo, Initi, now it is called as Meeti. Earlier Naga, Apatani, PYQ, Apatani 2024 question, Apatani tribal community. Mishmi, Ahoms, these are the major tribal communities of India. So just for view, according to 2011 census, 750 tribal communities are living in India, out of which 75 tribal communities are particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So according to 2011 census, there are 750 tribal communities. In this, 10% of the tribal communities, that is 75 tribal communities, are called as particularly vulnerable tribal groups, previously called as PTGs, primitive tribal groups. So we are understanding the definition of tribe. Up to now I didn't enter into the subject. First I want you to get the clarity on who are tribes. When you understand a tribe in multiple dimensions, from multiple anthropologists' ways, then we can directly go into the subject. So we understood D.N. Majumdar's definition of tribe, Ralph Linton definition of tribe, characteristics of tribe, T.B. Nayak view on tribe. See, Madan and Majumdar in the year 1967. Madan and Majumdar. According to Madan and Majumdar, who are tribes? According to Madan and Majumdar, same, everyone is same. Few people discussed from economical point of view, few people discussed from multiple dimensions point of view. Then what Madan and Majumdar told according to the tribe? Tribe is a territorial group or not? Yes or no? Tribe is a territorial group. If a tribe come and work in Assam tea gardens, whether he will be having association where he is working or he will be associated with his birthplace. Whereas we people, when we go to America, we behave like Americans. If they don't allow also, we tell we are Americans. And they come here and they tell that we are American, and they will speak with a language for which they have to bend their tongue. But a tribe, when they go to any place, still they have affiliation with their territory. So first point, he gave importance to the territory. Santals working in Assam tea gardens refer to particular regions of Bihar and Bengal as their homes. So first he gave importance to a territorial group. Second, kinship operates as a strong integrative force. They all are bound by a relationship. So they all are what? Kinship. Third, they have a common language. They have a unique features like what? Youth dormitories. Absence of institutional learning. There is no moral code, but there is customary law. So according to Madan Majumdar, if these characteristics are present, they are called as tribe. This is a view of Madan and Majumdar. D.N. Majumdar is different. Madan and Majumdar are brothers, anthropologists. So this is the view of Madan and Majumdar. You know this. Yes, sir, same, almost same. Next. Roy Berman. B.K. Roy Berman. You tell me, 2024 PYQ. There is a question. What was the view of buffer zone given by Roy Berman? Who knows this question? I am not talking about answer. Who know this question? There is a question on buffer zones, which is been given by Berman, 2024 PYQ. in 2024, there was a question on Roy Berman's concept of buffer zone. This is a person who gave this. So what I understood from 2023 and 2024, we have to get various views. So the first view is D.N. Majumdar, second view is Ralph Linton, third view is T.B. Nayak, fourth view is Madan Majumdar, last view is B.K. Roy Burman. He discussed it from the point of view of orientation towards Hindu society. Ante the tribes, how they are oriented towards Hindus, how they oriented towards Hindu society. So there are 4 dimensions where he understood tribe from the orientation of Hindu society. First orientation, tribes who got fully Hinduized. The tribes who fully got Hinduized. The tribe who had a positive orientation towards Hindus. The tribes who had a negative orientation towards Hindus. The tribe who are indifferent attitude with Hindus. Indifferent means unbothered. We don't know who are Hindus. So there are 4 orientations. So Roy Burman had defined tribes from the context of how they are oriented with Hindu societies. Number 1, those incorporated into Hindu social order. For example, who? Bills. They adopted a caste system which is present in Hindu system. They adopted Hindu gods who are present in Hinduism. They started worshipping all Hindu gods who are originally part of Hinduism. But the tribe, they should not worship Hindu gods. Why? Because they have their own religion. But they completely incorporated into Hindu society. So Roy Burman is explaining who are tribe from the context of orientation with Hindu society. Number 2, positively towards Hindu social order. Yes, they are good people. Yes, if I convert to Hinduism, no problem. Who? Santal. Negative towards Hindu social. Who? Mezo and Naga. They are, for them, Hindus are enemies. 4th, indifferent attitude towards the Hindu social order. Tribal communities of Arunachal Pradesh. Do you have any relationship with Hindus? I don't know who is Hindus. That is the 4th category. The tribal communities of Arunachal Pradesh. Apatani. So this person, B.K. Roy Burman, had explained tribe with respect to orientation with Hindu social order or Hindu social system, who are completely incorporated into Hindu social order, or who are positive towards Hindu social order, who are negative towards Hindu social order, or 4th is. So the question can be like this: write about B.K. Roy Burman's understanding of tribe. B.K. Roy Burman's understanding of tribe is mainly from the perspective of relationship with Hindu social order. He gave 4 social orders. He gave 4 social orders with respect to affiliation with Hindu social system. Number 1, who got completely incorporated into Hindu social system, who are having positive orientation towards Hindu social system, who are having negative social orders towards Hindu social system, those who are indifferent attitude towards Hindu social system. So now again we will try to remember the names. First definition is given by whom? D.N. Majumdar, Ralph Linton. Characteristics, T.B. Nayak, Madan Majumdar. 5th, B.K. Roy Burman. Without mentioning all these things directly, I can explain you this as well. Only this, which is called as characteristics. This characteristics is main, but however, for that particular person, what is his perspective? That particular person, what is his view is very much important for your exam point of view. Generally, sir, when you ask, sir, tribe and over, sir, who are having a relationship with common topography, who are having a sense of unity among themselves, who are egalitarian, who are having common dialect, you are having kinship relations, distinct political organizations, common culture, egalitarian values, primitive religion, isolated form of living, primitive technology, and subsistence form of. These are called as tribe. Sir, then who are ST, sir? Then who are ST? Okay, understood tribe. Then who are STs? Who are scheduled tribe in India? See, I will tell you. Article 366, Clause 25 of the Indian Constitution. Article 366, Clause 25 of Indian Constitution had properly defined who are scheduled tribe. It is also reiterated in Article 342. I mentioned here technically, I will tell understanding, listen. So in the Indian Constitution, who are STs? The tribes by the concept, and the Constitution of India gave the name called as scheduled tribe for the tribes, which is mentioned in two articles, Article 366 Clause 25 and Article 342. The scheduled tribes are being identified. How, sir? Listen. Article 366 Clause 25 tells that as per Article 342, and Article 342 tells that for the first time after the commencement of the Constitution, the President of India, receiving the resolutions from the governors of the provinces and the princely states, give the list of STs, give the list of tribes whom you are believing. So for the first time, at the time of commencement of the Constitution, the governors of the provinces had sent their list of STs. Those lists came to the President of India for the first time, and that particular list is called as scheduled tribes of the Constitution. Then he told that, then onwards, for the first time I took the list directly from who? Governors. Then onwards, any community to be called as ST, any community who is already called as ST need to be removed from ST list, or any community need to be added as the ST list. Then they mentioned a procedure under Article 342 of the Constitution. National Commission for ST will be constituted. At that time it is called as National Commission for SC and ST. A National Commission for SC and ST will be constituted, and the National Commission for SC and ST will be giving the report that from this state, these are the people who should be called as ST. That National Commission for SC and ST submitted the list will go to the Parliament, and Parliament will pass the bill. Once the Parliament is passing the bill, then that particular community will be called as tribe or removed from the tribal list. So this is the procedure. Who will be called as tribe, who will be not called as ST according to the Constitution of India. So again I am repeating. According to Article 366 Clause 25, the scheduled tribes of the India were being identified. The same is also been reiterated in Article 342. According to which, for the first time, the President by resolution will be giving the names of the STs by taking the orders from governors of the provinces. And the President of India countersigned by it, that particular group are called as STs. Then after, if I want to remove the list, or if I want to add anyone, or if I want to remove anyone, or if I want to amend anyone, then we have to go through parliamentary procedure. What is the parliamentary procedure, sir? A constitutional body will be constituted, and that constitutional body will be giving the list of STs to the Parliament, and the Parliament will be checking through passing the bill. When it is passed, then that particular community will be called as ST. Those people are called as STs. Now here question came. Okay, sir, that is procedure you told. So that is the procedure according to Article 366 Clause 25 and Article 342 25. The same what it. Article 342 states that for the first time the President, and the second time by the Parliament. So Parliament by the procedure it will be called as. Then a question came. Sir, then who should be called as ST? What should be the criteria? So from 1950 to 1965, lot of people, lot of communities started shouting and demanding for ST status. Why? Because the cutoff is less. Cutoff is very less. Sir, I am unable to clear prelims, whereas ST cutoff is very less. If I get ST status, it would be good, sir. I am clearing ST, but I am not clearing general. So there was a demand. The reservations are there, 8% for ST, 15% for SC. So what happened 1950 to 1965? By influencing their political leaders, they started asking and demanding for what? ST status. Then they understood that in the Constitution of India under Article 366 and Article 342, only procedure has been mentioned, but no criteria was been mentioned. So 1965, a committee was been constituted by the Government of India, which is called as a Lokur Committee. Now this Lokur Committee had identified a few criterias. If these criterias are there, then we can call that community as ST. If these criterias are not there, we cannot call any community as ST. You understood? So from 1950 to 1965, there was no criteria, just the parliament used to pass the bill. So few people who are very influential, they used to manipulate the central government or MPs, and they used to make the bill to be passed, and they used to get ST status. So a scientific question arised. So how you can call any community as an ST or not an ST? There should be some criteria, right? So in 1965, a committee was being constituted, which is called as Lokur Committee, to determine who are STs and who are not STs. So first point is geographical isolation. Who are living in geographical isolation? Who are living in geographical isolation, like living in the forest, living in the desert, living on the island. For them, we can give ST status. Number 2, distinctive culture. They should have their own culture, which should be distinct from mainstream, which should be distinct from others. So first was what? Geographical isolation, distinctive culture. Third, indications of primitive traits. Primitive traits like what? Primitive technology, primitive form of economy, or naked or semi-naked, or hunting type of living. So if they are having primitive traits, then we can call them as STs. Fourth, backwardness. Fifth, shyness to contact with the mainstream. So they don't want to come into contact with the mainstream. When they don't want to come into contact with mainstream, means they want to live isolation. So if any community who is having these 5 criteria, they will be called as STs. So now the issue, the Meena tribal community, how they got ST status? They got the ST status from 1950 to 1965, in between. So hence the question arises, without criteria, how you will give ST status, man? Because of which original STs are losing. So a committee was being constituted, which is called as Lokur Committee. Today also we are following this Lokur Committee criteria to identify any community as a ST. So what are the 5 criteria? Number 1, geographical isolation. Second one, distinctive culture. Third, primitive traits. Fourth, backwardness. Fifth, shyness to contact with. సో ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ 5 క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్ ఉంటాయో, ఈ 5 క్రైటీరియాలు ఉంటాయో, దట్ పర్టికులర్ కమ్యూనిటీ విల్ బి కాల్డ్ as ST. Means they will get eligibility to be called as ST. However, the bill should pass in Parliament only. We cannot bypass constitutional way. So again we should go to Parliament only, but now there is some scientific mechanism has been established. If these 5 points are there, then any community will be called as. So now syllabus copy. Open your syllabus copy. Read what is there in syllabus. 6.1. First point is what? Biogenetic variability of Indian tribes. Biogenetic variability. So now we are going into the subject. Here it is. Biogenetic variability. Second topic what? Linguistic classification. Third what? Socio-economic characteristics of tribal population. Next what? Geographical distribution. So now we are going into the subject. So up to now we understood who is tribe, and you have to understand who is tribe. So we understood from 5 ways. D.N. Majumdar, Ralph Linton, General characteristics, Madan and Majumdar, T.B. Naik, D.K. Roy, Burman. Then we understood Article 366, Clause 25 and Article 342 of the Constitution of India. Then we understood Lokur Committee things. Now we will be going a little bit fast. First is what? Biogenetic variability. What is this biogenetic variability, sir? This is biology. This biology is because of genes which are present inside me. So little bit biology basics. Every person every human being on the earth is because of 23 chromosomes from father and 23 chromosomes from mother. Both fused together to become 23 chromosomal pairs, which is called as 46 chromosomes. In every human being, there will be 46 chromosomes, either male or female. So chromosomes is made up of what? The chromosomes are made up of DNAs. The chromosomes are made up of DNAs. The building block of cell is chromosome. The building block of chromosome is called as DNA. So there is nothing called as gene. First you understand this. There is nothing called as gene. So this DNA copy, the joints of the DNA together is called as chromosome. A combination of DNAs. A combination of DNAs like ATCG. What is that? We will discuss later. As of now, the combination of DNAs which will be having a function like this is different, this is different, this is different, this is different, this is different. When I combine this, it is called as, this is having a meaning. This is having a meaning. So in our chromosomes also, it's a combination of DNAs. The DNAs are distinct. When they are organized in a structured way, then it will be having a function. The functional element of chromosome is called as gene. The structural element of chromosome is called as DNA. ఈ డిఎన్ఏలు అన్ని కలిస్తే క్రోమోజోమ్ అవుతుంది. ఆ డిఎన్ఏలో ఒక స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ వేలో ఉంటే, దానికి ఒక పని ఉంటే, అప్పుడు మనం ఏమంటామంటే జీన్ అంటాం. సో జీన్ అంటే ఎప్పుడు ఒక స్ట్రక్చర్ కాదు. జీన్ అనేది ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ డిఎన్ఏస్. బేసిక్ థింగ్. సో ద స్ట్రక్చరల్ అరేంజ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ డిఎన్ఏ వెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ ఎ ఫంక్షన్, అంటే ఒక పర్పస్, దెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as జీన్. సో ఇన్ మై బాడీ దేర్ ఆర్ జీన్స్ ఆర్ దేర్. Genes are nothing but a combination of DNAs which are called a structural arrangement of DNAs. The gene is having a function like my skin color, like my eye color, like my hair color. So this is called as biogenetics. This is called as biogenetics. This biology is because of genetics. Hence the concept is called as biogenetics, and these are varying. There is differences. Hence it is called as what? Biogenetical variabilities or biogenetics variability, that we are going to discuss now. What is that, sir? Few people are dark, few people are white, few people are yellow tinge. So there are differences in their biology. Few people are tall, few people are short. There is differences in their biology. So based on the differences on their biology, the tribes are being classified. Who are tall and dark, who are short and fair, who are yellow tinge. Mongoloid people will have yellow color, yellow tinge. Who are having yellow tinge, who are having bushy hair, who are having long head, who are having broad head. So there are varieties of biologies. So in tribes also, how many varieties of biologies are there in India? In India, in tribes, how many varieties of tribes are there? If you go deeper south, we have Irular, who are dark with bushy hair. If you go to the north, Sherpas, who is having yellow tinge. If you go to the east, they will be having Mongoloid features like Nagas, Mesos. If you go to the west, we have the tribal communities like Garibas, who are fair, good looking tribes, being a tribe. So many variations are there. So how many biological variabilities are there in India? That comes under the topic called as biogenetic variability. Can you more elaborate, sir? For example, this classroom, I divided. We all are tribes. I divided who are tall and fair, who are short and fair, who are short and dark, who are dark and tall, who are medium, who are having long head, who are having broad head. So if I divide, whether groups will form? So how many groups are there? Oh, this many groups are there in India with respect to their biology. So that variability, that variations, that classification is called as biogenetical variability. Biogenetical variability. Obviously, my genes will be different from your genes. Your genes will be different from other person's genes. Why? Because in 1.3 billion, only two people will be matching. So genes are different. So when genes are different, the output also will be different. So my genes is different, so your genes is, obviously we both will not be same. Why? Because our both genes are different. So first understanding. So no two individual genes are same. So no two individuals are same. No two individual genes are same. So no two individuals' biologies are same. The study of biogenetic variability among the tribes refer to the study of variations in physical and physiological features amongst humans leading to formation of races. So biogenetic variability is nothing but, as I told, variations in their physiology and their biology. That particular study will come under what? Biogenetic variability. Before that I told. Why there is variation? Why there is variation? Because people genes are not same. As no two people genes are same, so no two people will be same. So there are variations. So from that we are understanding that there are variations. So how many variations are there in our Indian tribes? So how many variations are there in our Indian tribe in this classroom? How many I am separating. I will be finding the reason and how many such groups are there. I am finding the reason and I am also finding why there is difference and how many such differences. That particular study is called as what? Biogenetic variability. So you can tell more simplified, sir, simple. Classification of tribes based upon their physical appearance is called as biogenetic variability. Classification of Indian tribes based upon their physical appearances is called as biogenetic variability. So how many such physical appearances are there? How many such physical appearances are there? That we will be discussing now, which is called as biogenetic variability. So before that, some basics. Morphological criteria. These are called as morphological criteria, like skin color, hair texture, eye color, eye shape, facial index, whether it is long or broad, nasal index, whether long or snubbed, or cephalic index. This is called a cephalic index. Head, cephalic index, body build and stature. These are what? Morphological criteria. There are variations. Which characteristics variations are? These characteristics variations. So how many varieties are there? What are their characteristics? For example, in this classroom we are dividing into groups based upon their physical appearances. So what are the characters I am taking? Number one, what? Skin color. All fair people come this side. All brown people come this side. It's easy to classify or not? Number one. Next, what I did? Hair color. White hair come this side, brown hair go that side, dark hair go that side. Texture, woolly people come this side, silky people go that side. So differences are happening. Differences is happening or not? Yes. Next is what? Facial index. Who are having long head, face, who are having long face, who are having broad face. Long face people come this side. So in this way, these are the criteria which is making us to divide the Indian population, mainly tribals, into Different classifications, different criterias. There are serological parameters also like blood group, hemoglobin. What, sir? Who are A blood group? Who are B blood group? A positive people come this side, B positive come this side. Blood group is also because of genes. Our blood group is also because of genes. So, that is also biology or not? Blood is biology or not? Serological proteins. Hemoglobin, who are having hemoglobin, who are having rhesus factor. Means these are called as serological factors. So, biogenetic variability means not only morphological criteria, but also serological criteria like what? It can be blood group, it can be hemoglobin, etc. Tasting ability, DNA and chromosomal variation. So overall, we are going to understand or we are going to classify our Indian tribes based upon their morphological criteria and genetical criteria like what? Blood groups or there is something called as tasting ability. What is the tasting ability? I will tell you. There is something called as PTC. Phenyl thiocarbamide. PTC. Phenyl thiocarbamide. If I give this powder, PTC, to everyone in the classroom, PTC, it's a chemical. One person will tell that it is sweet, sir. Another person will tell it is sour. Another person will tell bitter. Another person will tell there is no taste only. Means same element when I am giving, why people are not saying same, why people are saying differently? The tasting abilities are differing. Why their tasting abilities are differing? Why? Because their genes are differing. So that is also biology. Tasting ability is also biology. So what I told, whoever are telling that it is sweet, come this side. Whoever are telling it is bitter, come this side. Whoever are telling sour, sit that side. Whoever are telling there is no taste only, come this side. So whether population is getting classified? So here what we are doing, based upon this biological criteria, based upon the morphological criteria, we are dividing the Indian tribes populations. So because of that, what I will come to know? I will come to know that, oh, this many tall people, dark people are there. This many people are, for this particular PTC, they are tasting sweet. Or this many people are having A blood group. Or this many people are having B blood group. So whether I will come to a calculation or not. So, unit number 6.1 studies about a tribe and classifying the tribes. So, now if I tell those who are wearing specs, come this side. Those who are not wearing specs, goes whether differentiation happened or not. Criteria is proper or not. If I go, how you classified man? Sir, I classified who are wearing specs and who are not. Okay, fine. So, in this way, we are classifying the Indian tribes. So, here one question comes. Sir, why we have to classify? So, why we have to classify, sir? For example, I will tell you. Jarwa tribal population of Andaman Nicobar Island need for racial studies and racial classification. When I am classifying them based upon the physical feature, it is called as race only, no? So racial class, indirectly it is called as racial classification only, based upon the physical features. So why we have to classify, sir? So endu classify cheyali sir ani adige vallu untaru valla kosam. Sir, why we have to classify? Jarwa tribal people of Andaman Nicobar Island in COVID times 2021, 2020 and 2021. When Port Blair, now the name has been changed, new name is Vijayapuram, Sri Vijayapuram. So, the Jarwa people who are living in the isolated pocket, very frequently they came into the Port Blair, they did their business, again they went. Means they sold whatever they have. Again they came, they went. Again they came, they came. Port Blair completely locked down. The tribals used to somehow, they used to come and they used to go inside the forest. The wondering thing is, not a single Jarwa man got COVID. Then today also the total India has been shocked. So much vulnerable, so much sensitive. so much acute to catch disease called as COVID-19 in 2020-2021, not a single Jarva man did not got COVID-19. Whereas in our society, out of 10 people, 4 people got, no? Out of 10 people, 4 people, minimum 4 people got 100%. They are coming into contact with port player and they are going inside. They are coming and they are going. But not a single man got COVID. They don't have any mask, etc., nothing. They don't know about self-isolation. They don't know about sanitizer, etc. But still, not then the government of India did the interrogation or did research on them. They understood that in their biology, there is an autoimmune system which was very active against COVID-19. Few people took Covaxin, Covishield, lot of immunization they took, lot of ventilation, but still they could not survive. Lot of people would be there. They used to get disease very easily. If I take this immune particle, if I take this immune system, if I take that particular gene which is producing that antibody, and if I keep in this man, if I take that particular gene which is producing antibody against COVID-19, so much powerful, in spite of contact, in spite of staying together, this man did not got COVID. If I find that particular gene which is producing that antibody, and if I take by gene editing method, and if I put in the man who is vulnerable, whether he will be becoming autoimmune to COVID-19 or not. So that is the reason we need to study about classifications. So there are some positive points which we will get, there are some negative points which we will get. So that is the reason the government of India as well as internationally also, first they classified the populations and next they classified the Indian tribal populations also. Analysis of the physical traits lead to understanding the significance of these traits, like study of stature, skin color, analysis of adaptive behaviors with changing environment. Jarvas, they adapted what? They adapted COVID. They adopted COVID, because of which they became so strong that COVID is nothing before them. So in this way we can understand when we classify the people based upon their biologies. Understanding the link between the epidemiology, means disease, and human races, strength of immune system. Now if any COVID vaccination if I want to make, I can make from which gene? Jarva's gene. So when we classify the tribes based upon their biology, when we classify the population based upon their race, when we classify the tribe based upon their physical appearances, we can understand what are the positives and what are the negatives. That is the reason it is called as need for racial studies. So if any tribal community is becoming vulnerable, oh, this particular community is vulnerable, when the government come to know because of doing this racial study, I can address them. Addressing is the need of the hour for a bureaucrat. In order to solve, first we have to understand the problem. If I want to understand the problem, first what I have to do? I have to classify them. The people who are writing good answers, come this side. The people who are not at all writing answer, go outside and sit down, means those who are sitting down, they are all called as people who are not at all writing answers. So when we know them, we can solve them. So that is the reason we are going with this particular classification. So what happened? We are trying to establish which race is originally present in India. There was a very big drawback for India. Our soil is acidic in nature. Originally, who are living in India, who are the original people of India, when we want to study, we could not study. Why? Because our soil was acidic in nature. The people who died, the fossils, the bones decomposed into the soil. Why? Because our soils are acidic in nature. The acidic nature soil eaten away our fossils. So we didn't got any fossil evidence. We got only few tools. The tool evidence are called as archaeological evidences. The fossil evidences are called as fossil evidences. So we didn't got fossil evidences, but we got what? Archaeological evidences. Why? Because the fossils were being eaten away by soil. So first I am understanding what is the history. Who are the first tribals who are living in India? దాన్ని ఇప్పుడు నేను క్లాసిఫై చేసే కన్నా ముందు మీరు నన్ను అడిగే ప్రశ్న ఏంటి సార్? అది కాదు సార్, ఫస్ట్ ఎవరు ఉండే? Who are the first people who used to live in India? So to study that also there was a big problem that our soil was acidic in nature. So we got only what? Archaeological evidences like bow, arrow, like cleavers, chopper chopping tools. Only those evidences we got. And with that evidences we are trying to rebuild the history of our race. Only stone tools we got. Skeletal remains have rarely been found. Because of this concern, it is very difficult to construct the racial history of India. So, one person came, his name is called as Risley. His name is called as Risley, Sir Herbert Hope Risley. Now IAS, earlier alias ICS, Indian Civil Service Officer, first anthropologist who for the first time attempted the racial classification of Indians on the scientific basis. So for that we tried to establish history of our racial classification, but we could not get strong evidences. Why? Because of acidic nature of soil. But however, one officer called as Risley, Herbert Hope, tried to establish the racial history of India. His name is Risley. This person. So now the classification of Indian tribes is given by two people. One is Herbert Hope Risley, second person is Birja Shankar Guha. So two people's classification we will be studying. Up to now we understood tribe, then we understood why we have to understand the classification, and we don't have proper historical evidence of classification because of acidic nature of soil. Finally, an Indian civil servant tried it and he made, his name is called as Risley. Two people did the classification of Indian tribes. One is Risley, other is Guha. So this person is Herbert Risley. He is a British ethnographer, colonial administrator, a member of Indian Civil Service. Conducted extensive studies on the tribes and the castes in the Bengal Presidency. Used the ratio of width of the nose and to its height to divide Indians into Aryans and Dravidians. So he told two main tribes are there in India. Historically, two main tribes are there. One he called as Aryans, other he called as Dravidians. Dravidians width is more, Aryans width is less. Aryan nose is height is more and the Aryans height is less. So width is more for, he told. So two people are there. I am classifying them based upon their nose. So he classified Indian population into 7 categories. These are the 7 categories. See the map, next page. See the map, next page. In the next page there is map. See, first one is what? Turco-Iranians. Second one, Indo-Aryans. Third one, Scytho-Dravidians. Fourth one, Aryo-Dravidians. Fifth one, Mongolo-Dravidians. Sixth one, Mongolid. Seventh one, Dravidians. So he told in India, 7 tribal people are there and he classified into how many? 7. First one, Turco-Iranians. Indian subcontinent. 1921 means Indian subcontinent or India? Indian subcontinent. Turco-Iranians. See the map. 1. Turco-Iranians. Got it? Second what? Second, Indo-Aryans. See here. Jammu and Kashmir. Indo-Aryans. Third one? Third, serial number. Scytho-Dravidians. Where is that? Scytho-Dravidians. Scytho-Dravidians. Fourth, Aryo-Dravidians. Aryo-Dravidians. Fourth. Next, Mongolo-Dravidians. Mongolo-Dravidians. Next, Mongolites. Last, Dravidians. So he classified the Indian population into 7. So he classified Indian tribes into how many groups? 7 groups. First one is Turco-Iranians. Second one is Indo-Aryans. Third one is Scytho-Dravidians. Fourth one is Aryo-Dravidians. Fifth one is Mongolo-Dravidians. Sixth is Mongolite. Seventh is Dravidian. How you have to remember, sir? Turco-Indo. Dravidian, fully Dravidian. And Mongoloid. Three Dravidians are there. Who are the three Dravidians? Scytho, Aryo and Mongolo. And with map also we can remember. First one is top subcontinent, Turco-Iranian. Second is Indo-Aryans. Third is Aryo-Dravidians. Fourth is Scytho-Dravidians. Fifth is Mongolo-Dravidians. Sixth is Mongolites. And seventh is Dravidians. So 7 groups are there according to him. So first, understand this. So these are the 7 groups of what? Indian population. So Risley, what he did? He classified the India into 7 groups based upon their physical features. Now question comes, sir, in that 7 groups which you classified, in that how many are tribes, sir? He told in the 7 groups only 2 are tribes. You know, Aryans are mainstream or tribes? Mainstream. So Aryans, Turco-Iranians are mainstream anyhow. Aryan, Mongolo-Dravidians, Scytho-Dravidians, these all are mainstream. So he told from the 7, only 2 are tribal populations according to Risley. Those are the tribes among Risley classifications are Dravidians and Mongoloid. So according to him, Mongolites, Dravidians are the Indian tribes. See, this is the first classification of Indian tribes. Then Birja Shankar Guha will come. His classification is authentic. This is having some drawbacks, some criticism, but he is the first person, we have to remember it. Only 2 people gave the classification of Indian tribes. One is Risley and Guha. So from the 7 classification of Indian population is the combination of mainstream and tribes or only tribes? Mainstream and tribes. So mainstream are 5, tribes are 2. Mainstream are 5. Who are those? Turco-Iranians, Indo-Aryans, Aryo-Dravidians, Scytho-Dravidians, Mongolo-Dravidians. These 5 are called mainstream. Only 2 are tribes. The combination of mainstream and tribe is called as India. This is India's classification. This is tribal classification. In India classification lo 5 mainstream as who are the 2? Dravidians and Mongoloids. So now we are not going to read about everyone. We are just understanding he classified the Indian population into 7 groups. In that we are bothered only about tribal groups. And the 2 tribal groups are who? Dravidians and Mongoloids. So first, who are Dravidians? Who are Dravidians? See, long-headed people. Head is, this is called as long only, long-headed people. Dravidian, nose is broad, width is more. Nose is broad. When it is broad, it will be depressed at nasal. It will be pressed inside, no? Depressed at nasal. Nose is broad, sometimes depressed at nasal root. Dark complexion and dark eyes. South Indian people, dark complexion, dark eyes. Short stature and curly hair. Short stature and curly hair. According to whom? Risley. Example are Toda, Tamil Nadu, Koya, Gons. These are who? Dravidians. We are not bothered about remaining 5. But because the question is what? Tribal classification of India. So India classified Risley into 7 groups. But tribes are only 2. Santals. Example. Santals who inhabit southern Chota Nagpur plateau. Panians are purest Dravidians. He believed Dravidians are the original inhabitants of subcontinent. They were modified by infiltrations of Aryans, Mongoloids, Scythians, hence called as Mongolo-Dravidian, Aryo-Dravidian, Scytho-Dravidians. So, according to Risley, who are the original inhabitants of India? Dravidians. It can be a prelims question also. According to Risley, who are the original inhabitants of India? Dravidians. But however, these Dravidians got infiltrated with advent of Scythians, Mongoloids, Aryans. That is the reason Aryo-Dravidians, Mongolo-Dravidians and Scytho-Dravidians. Examples are Toda, Panians, Kond, Santals, who are below Deccan Plateau, all are called as Dravidians. Deccan Plateau and below is Dravidians. Next, tribes among Dravidians, Mongoloids. Broad-headed. Mongoloids have broad-headed. Chinese fast food center. You look broad-headed. I'm not racist. Broad-headed. They are broad-headed. Long to narrow nose. Long to narrow nose. Whereas Dravidians, short nose, snubbed nose. Yellow tinge. They have a yellow tinge, yellow color. Short stature. Yes or no? Short stature, scanty body hair will be very less. And most important is, all the Mongoloid people will have an epicanthic fold here. Here, there will be a fold, which is called as epicanthic fold. So, what are the features of Mongoloids? Number one, broad-headed, narrow nose, epicanthic fold, yellow tinge, dark complexion with yellow tinge. Examples: Khasi of Assam and Meghalaya, Sherpas of Nepal, Kachins of Burma. So this is about Risley's classification. There are criticisms are there, because of which Risley's classification was not accepted. Risley's classification was not accepted. Then an Indian anthropologist called as Birja Shankar Guha, B.S. Guha came and he gave the classification of Indian tribes in the year 1931. Today, we follow B.S. Guha's classification only. Why we studied Risley's? Because he is the first person who gave the classification of Indian tribes. What we are following today means we are following B.S. Guha's classification. So, Birja Shankar Guha's classification we will be doing tomorrow. So, what all we studied today? What all we did? First, we understood the definition of tribe. Tribe means what? That you should understand. So there are various synonyms with tribe. Indigenous, primitive, Adivasi, tribe, scheduled tribe. Tribe definition is given by D.N. Majumdar, Ralph Linton, T.B. Naik, Madan Majumdar, R.K. Roy Burman. B.K. Roy Burman. So, 5 people's perspectives we understood. Then we have common characteristics, nearly 12 characteristics we remembered. Then we understood biogenetic variability. What is biogenetics? Because of genes, what biology is coming up is called as biogenetic. Topic is what? Biogenetic variability, biogenetic differences, biogenetic classifications. So, based upon their biology, based upon their physical appearance, based upon the race, which is called as racial classification, physical classification, biogenetic classification is being given by 2 people. One is called as Risley, other is called as Guha. Before that, we understood why we are going for classification. We got the reasoning, the positives and negatives, so that we can understand how we can treat them or how we can know the better things about them. The two people, Risley and Guha. Risley is an Indian civil servant, ethnographer and administrator. He divided the India into 7 groups. Turco-Iranians, Indo-Aryans, Aryo-Dravidians, Mongolo-Dravidians, Scytho-Dravidians, Mongoloids and Dravidians. In which he told that the tribes are only 2. One is Mongoloid, other is Dravidian. Then we understood the Dravidians' physical features with examples, Mongoloid physical features with examples. But however, it is subjected to a lot of criticism, which is very far from practicality. Hence, we got another classification which is final, authentic. Today also, we are following that particular classification, which is called as Birja Shankar Guha's classification. Birja Shankar Guha's classification. So, Guha's classification we will be doing tomorrow. Okay.